UkraineInvest is the Ukrainian government's investment promotion office created in 2016 to attract foreign direct investment and assist existing investors to expand their businesses in Ukraine. And with me is Sergiy Tsivkach, the CEO, to talk about this program a little bit more. And since 2018, UkraineInvest has played a role in attracting $3.5 billion of direct foreign investment. So can you share some success stories that you've had with this program?
Yes, hello, Jane. Thank you very much for the invitation and this opportunity to talk to you. Yes, so we were, quite busy, obviously, since 2016, our office was set up and several teams have been changed, but UkraineInvest, in short, continues all operations, and we had some positive results. Companies like Scotech, Coastal, CRH were attracted during this time. After full-scale invasion, actually, we didn't stop our activities, and last year was quite interesting because we have managed to attract to Ukraine big players such as Kingspan, $300 million, Polish company Cerzanit, they built new facility during the war. Companies like Bayer, global agricultural company, they also started new project, more than $70 million. So only last year, we have attracted to Ukraine industrial projects worth more than $500 million. And at the moment, in our pipeline, we have 17 projects worth about $2 billion US.
So can you explain a little bit about how you work with the government to find projects and then elaborate on all of that coordination? What makes it possible?
Well, first of all, we are one-stop shop of the government of Ukraine for investors that are interested to do business in Ukraine and implement projects in Ukraine. So investors can get in touch with us and ask us any questions about doing business in Ukraine, whether this is related to legal side of doing business or any analytics that they require. They contact us and we provide our service free of charge to them. And that helps them to make decisions about investing in Ukraine and then to operate in Ukraine. We were ranked in top 5 of Central and Eastern European investment agencies for the last 3 years. We also always listen to investors, and when they have suggestions on how to improve regulatory policy, we pass this message to our colleagues in government of Ukraine and in Parliament of Ukraine. As an example, we were working since beginning of March 2022 on adjustments to the law on state support for investment projects in Ukraine. And now, thanks to our partners in government and in parliament, this draft law has been passed. And now this law opens doors for SMEs as well, because they can get extra incentives. And now investment projects of over 12 million euros, they can apply and receive such incentives in Ukraine.
Now, how do you ensure the accuracy, the timeliness of the data that you provide investors? How do you keep them up to date on the changing conditions that are going on in Ukraine?
Well, first of all, we always use reliable data from reliable sources. These are Ukrainian state authorities and also reputable analytical centers based in Ukraine and abroad. We have access to several databases throughout the world, and we use that data as well. For us, it's very important to transform data about damage that was caused by illegal invasion of Ukraine into information about perspectives for investors, because when they plan investment in Ukraine now, they need to understand how much will be needed of specific product in order to rebuild Ukraine. And when they receive this data, they can plan their activity and understand what kind of investment will be successful in Ukraine. We also share with them success stories about current investors and about investment plans. UkraineInvest has its own analytical platforms. We have conference that is happening on a regular basis. It is called Fit for Ukraine, where FIT stands for Forum on Investments and Transformation of Ukraine. So we have done about 70 events already and managed to attract more than 7,000 people from 65 countries to listen to our analytical presentations and then talk to us about investments. Also, we have analytical tool called UkraineInvest Guide. It's about 100 pages that can be found on our website, or anyone can Google, just type UkraineInvest Guide, and you will find there information about regions of Ukraine, cost of doing business in Ukraine, and rules of doing business in Ukraine. Only during last year, through international media and local media, we have managed to cover audience of about 15 million people. And our social media have about 20,000 of organic subscribers. These are real investors, experts, and analysts that rely on our data.
Interesting. And there's also a lot of incentives that you offer. Can you talk about some of the most attractive incentives and what role they have played in building up this program?
Well, this is not us that are offering these incentives. We're just passing the message to investors. It's government of Ukraine that introduces investments because we understand the need for private capital to enter Ukraine and to rebuild economy and ultimately to make profits for themselves. That is very important. So at the moment, Ukraine can offer up to 30% of state support for investment projects over 12 million euros. Also, we can offer up to 10 years corporate income tax relief. We can talk to investors when they want to build facility. Ukraine can provide land for manufacturing facility without an auction. When investor is planning to build facility, they need engineering grids. So state of Ukraine can reimburse investors for this cost that they incurred. We have special systems for IT companies. It's called DIA system. It's a virtual economic zone for IT and fintech company with special tax rates. We also have special tax rates for companies that want to build electric vehicles in Ukraine till 2035. So it's a big range of investment incentives that is available. And if anyone is interested in these incentives, you can get in touch with us and we will provide you a full list.
Okay. And are there any future strategies or initiatives that you have in place to try to continue the success of the program?
Ukraine is working on the rebuilding process. According to World Bank, and that estimate is from June 2023, we will need at least $411 billion to rebuild the economy, to cover direct losses and also indirect losses. And this figure is rising day by day. So special investment mechanisms are required. Things like PPP, public-private partnership,